they are so young, 7 days only, it's not gonna be as painful, right? And it will heal much faster. So this is what is recommended for circumcision. The third one is to trim the mustache and allowing the beard to grow full and big. And this is obviously from the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, to actually trim closely the mustache. Obviously this from the aspect of cleanliness on one side and beauty for the man, right? It looks so much more beautiful. I don't know if you saw those people who do it either by tradition or some by religion, by sect. Their religion, tell them that they should actually leave their mustache untrimmed and left alone, and they grow so big. It's disgusting, man. When they eat, it becomes a place of dirt and whatnot. Compare that to the Muslims who trim the mustache, who are recommended to trim the mustache closely, and it looks so much nicer, and they're cleaner. And also we do that out of deferring from the non-Muslims, not to imitate them. And there are a lot of ahadith, sahih, true, authenticated ahadith that have been recorded and narrated to us that recommend to trim the mustache and leave or grow the beard and to grow it full and big. And like I said, this obviously this is the distinction between the man and the woman by nature. Allah Azza wa Jalla created the male in one fashion and the female in one fashion, right? He created the male with beard, and this is to differentiate. And as a matter of fact, it's a beauty for the male and for the man, if you think about it. Ironically, and subhanAllah, I actually hesitated a lot to mention this, but I was actually myself surprised. Wallahi, I was shocked. This happened a couple of years ago. I was shopping at a store, and as I was paying at the cashier, she was a non-Muslim, right? And subhanAllah, I wasn't even talking to her, and she, out of the blue, she said, I like facial hair for the male. I said, okay. She's like, it makes, this is how, man should, it just makes them so much more beautiful. SubhanAllah, if the non-Muslim agree, let alone the Muslim, so this is the creation of Allah Azza wa Jal. And Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu wa ardah, he narrated in this hadith, recorded by Imam Muslim, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم جز الشوارب وأرخ اللحى وخالف المجوس. Trim closely the mustache and grow the beard, and thus act against the fire worshippers. Majus, the fire worshippers, they grow their mustache so long, and so we are actually ordered to act differently and not to look like them and imitate them. And so this is from the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. In another hadith, Ibn Umar radiyallahu anhuma, may Allah be pleased with Umar and Ibn Umar, عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, in this hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, he said, خالف المشركين ووفر اللحى وأحف الشوارب. Do the opposite of what the pagans do. Keep the beards and cut the mustaches short. To trim closely the mustache. And so we've seen that these are the guidance of the Prophet ﷺ, Sunnah al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and the Muslim should try hard as much as possible to actually follow the guidance of the Prophet, this prophetic guidance, and to look different and not to imitate those who are not Muslim, and to also not look like the woman as well. Try to look as Allah Azza wa Jal has created us, and distinctively. The fourth sunnah of Sunnah al-Fitrah, is to trim, to clip the nails. Clipping the nails is one of the Sunnah al-Fitrah, which is to actually cut it when it starts to become long, and not to leave it, too long, which is something what some people do. Even ironically, which is interesting, I don't know if it has a significance or not, and I don't know about if you guys have seen this before or not. Some people leave only one specific finger. I don't know why. What is the significance of that? They cut the nails, but only leave one finger with a nail that is too long. Obviously, this is against the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. We shouldn't be doing that. And even from a hygiene perspective, it's going to accumulate a lot of dirt and a lot of, sometimes even, bacteria and illnesses that could be a cause for the illness of the person. And this is against the sunnah of the fitrah, of the nature upon which Allah Azza wa Jal has created us. And some people, to my knowledge, or from what I heard, is that they do this to look cool, right? And follow the non-Muslims. They let their fingers grow too long. And by the way, there is a misconception. This doesn't only apply for the male. This is common for both male and female. To cut through. And even Rasulullah ﷺ has put some, the longest time frame. We should definitely cut the nails every 40 days at the longest, if not earlier than that. The fifth sunnah of Sunan al-Fitrah is to pluck the underarm hair. Plucking the underarm hair is also to actually remove the hair from the underarm. Now this can be done by plucking or by shaving. Plucking might be a little bit painful the first few times. Some people may not be able to take it. Some people can't stand it. It is painful. I gotta admit, the first few times that you do it, it is really painful. Now it gets much easier if you're willing to be patient and take that pain. The more you do it, much lesser pain, to the point that eventually it becomes completely, you won't feel it. But if you cannot, then shaving it suffices as well, mujzid, or any other type of removing. The point is to remove the hair, the underarm hair, whether by plucking or by shaving. Obviously, because it is also a place where dirt can accumulate, and to some people, it might actually be a source of bad smell. A lot of people actually suffer from this, right? They actually naturally, their underarm smells really bad. And these days they use what they call it, deodorant. Yes, barakallahu feekum. They use deodorant to cover up. Instead of covering up, just take it and shave it and clean that area. Done. So this is our deen, and these are the beauties of the deen. Imagine, look at the other religions. Have you seen every other religion where it stresses so much on the cleanliness and the purity of the body of the person, of the followers? And this is some of the beauties of our religion, Deen al-Islam, which Allah Azza wa Jal has, is pleased with and has approved for us. But also, we can add to this in another hadith. In another hadith, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we said we just discussed 5 of Sunan al-Fitrah. In another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he even went further and talked about another 5 extra Sunan of Sunan al-Fitrah. And this is in hadith related by Imam Muslim, from hadith Aisha radiyallahu anha wa ardaha, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم 10 من الفطرة قص الشارب وإعفاء اللحية والسواك واستنشاق الماء وقص الأظافر وغسل البراجم ونتف الإبط وحلق العانة وانتقاص الماء يعني الاستنجاء. وقال مصعب بن شيبة أحد رواة الحديث ونسيت العاشرة إلا أن تكون المضمضة. And this is recorded in Sahih Muslim. So the Prophet ﷺ says 10 are the acts according to fitrah: clipping the mustache, letting the beard grow, using the toothstick, siwak, snuffing water in the nose, cutting the nails, washing the finger joints, plucking the hair under the armpits, shaving the public hair, and cleaning one's private parts with water, which is an istinja, we talked about. And the narrator said, I have forgotten the 10th, but it may have been rinsing the mouth, which we use in the wudu, or even outside the wudu, to actually use water to rinse and clean your mouth. So these are actually another 5 acts of al-fitrah, Sunan al-Fitrah, in addition to the ones that we already talked about. And we've already talked about the siwak, and the second one is snuffing water in the nose, right? So one of the sunnah al-wudu, right? From the sunnah in the wudu is to actually clean your nose with water, and that is we call istinshaq, stuffing water in the nose. Rinsing the mouth with water as well, also this is of sunnah al-wudu. Washing the finger joints, which is here where sometimes it can accumulate some dirt, right? To actually make sure that you clean the joints of the fingers. And cleaning oneself with water after relieving oneself, which is the one type of cleaning oneself, which is an istinja. Remember istinja and an istijmar? Istinja in water. And this is actually, by the way, a differentiating sunnah. Because you look at the other religions, including Christianity, Jews, nobody uses water to clean themselves. Sometimes, some of them they use toilet paper, and some even don't care to even clean oneself or wash after using the restroom, and it's just disgusting, subhanAllah. Compare this to the beauty of our deen. Look at how the deen actually recommend us and command us to do the things that actually keep our bodies and keep our garments and keep ourselves clean and healthy, right? And smell good. So subhanAllah, Allah Azza wa Jal has legislated for us everything that is good for us. Everything that is good for us and that is healthier, or to conduct a healthier life. Any questions about those? Abdullah? Cash. Cameraman.
Assalamu
Alaikum assalam.
I have a lot of questions actually.
Uh-oh. One question at a time.
Yeah, okay. So we have to go back to the recommendations of going to the washroom or the restroom. So maybe this is very important to mention, I believe, is we have some few folks of other group. They use amulets, and in that amulet there is verses of the Holy Quran written in that, and they go inside the restroom wearing that. And
That's actually two questions in one, by the way. That's not one question. Shall I answer first and then?
Yeah.
Okay. The first, I don't know if everybody heard the question, but the brother is saying that some people wear amulets. Remember amulets we talked about when we were talking about Tawheed. And then enter the restroom. And like I said, this is actually two questions, because to begin with, we shouldn't be using amulets to begin with. Remember we talked about that, and we said that it is impermissible to use amulets, and they don't do anything, by the way. Right? We said if you want to protect yourself, and the proper way of protecting oneself is to actually recite the ad'iyah, which is the plural of dua, that is recorded authentically to us, or narrated authentically to us from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from reciting ayat al-kursi, Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum, to the end of the ayah, from reciting Surah Al-Ikhlas, reciting Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq, the surah, Qul a'udhu bi rabbil nas, the whole surah, right? We call them al-mu'awwidhat, right? So ruqya shar'iyya, which is to protect yourself in the permissible way, and the dua that was narrated to us. And also from the dua that we are led, or is legislated to us to use to protect ourselves, or to seek protection from Allah Azza wa Jal, is to recite periodically Surah Al-Baqarah, right? And he even alayhi salatu wasalam recommended that it should be recited periodically at the house, because it protects from the devil, it protects from the shaitan, right? And from all other types of harms and evil. So these are the proper ways of protection, and I thought that I should answer that. Second, obviously you shouldn't bring them in the restroom, because we said that it is one of the makruh to actually bring, and if it has Quran, then it is impermissible to bring it inside the restroom. It is not a respectful place for Quran.
okay, so related to that now is.
Looks like I have another.
Yeah,
so you have one more question.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
kind of related, so maybe I should finish and then we'll go there. So we have cell phones, and then in that cell phone we have apps of Holy Quran. So
There's no problem in that because these are just apps. These are digital storage of the Quran. They're not mushaf in themselves. They're not, they're not the speech of Allah Azza wa Jal physically, right? They're just an app in digital format. So you're not actually, by bringing your cell phone inside the restroom, you're not bringing a mushaf inside inside the restroom. It's just an application, right? So no problem with that. Yeah. I think the brother over here, you raised your hand, right? Okay. Alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
The question I have
Is it on? Yeah.
so,
Salam wa rahmatullah.
the question I have is, I usually travel Monday to Thursday actually, and at times I have the Musaf with me in a jacket or something.
Right.
And if I used to use a restroom, then
Okay. What you should probably do, if you think it is safe enough, I would put it in the jacket and then hang the jacket on, sometimes they have, so the restrooms typically in the airport, right? You're referring to.
Exactly.
In the airport, they have this, the washroom area, right? Where you have sinks where you can wash up, and then there is the actual restrooms. Now, what you're not supposed to bring the mushaf in is the actual restroom, not the whole area, because the whole area is not a restroom. So I would hang, my jacket or something and put the mushaf in it on the wall outside, and then use the restroom, and then you can take it back.
Sometimes it's actually
Risk, right?
It's a risk actually. Like you're not allowed to keep the bag or anything.
The other way I would do this is I would put the mushaf on a place, outside the restrooms, maybe even on the side of the sink, or sometimes they have like a shelf. I don't think anybody really will steal a mushaf. What he's going to do with it, right? Money, it's riskier, obviously. But, mushaf, I don't think anybody will actually steal it. So I think it should be, I feel comfortable leaving the mushaf on the shelf, relieve oneself, and then go out and take it back. Well, yeah,
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaykum salam.
So, while in the restroom, I hope we are not supposed to recite any kalima or anything, any hamd or anything, right?
You shouldn't do dhikrullah. Anything. And the Quran is one of the types of dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal. So it shouldn't be done inside the actual restroom.
Okay, so the du'as we recite, that's while entering the
Usually,
restroom, outside.
Exactly. As you are entering, before you enter, right? You enter with your left foot and you say Bismillah, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-khubthi wal khaba'ith before you actually enter, as you're entering. And then when you exit out of it, as you're exiting, you exit with your right hand and right foot, and then you say Ghufranak. Not inside. Now, one thing I can add to your question. A lot of people get confused. At home, for example, at all of our homes, right? These days, it becomes customary, wherever you go, right? The restroom is actually a common area, right? You have the restroom, where you actually relieve oneself, and then you have sinks, and then you have tubs, right? And you don't always use that area as a restroom. Sometimes you enter that area to actually make a wudu, sometimes to take a shower. So in that case, it's not a restroom, and you don't have to do all of this. It is a restroom only when you're entering it to relieve oneself, and that area where you actually use it to relieve. Because sometimes, the restroom is actually pretty big, and it's used, and sometimes you have two sinks and, whatnot, especially in luxury houses and whatever. Yes.
And also regarding trimming the mustache, you said, is shaving allowed?
Not shaving completely. You should actually leave the mustache. And what Rasulullah ﷺ is saying, حُفُّ الشَّوَارِبْ, يعني trim it closely, but don't shave it completely, because also this is one of the signs of the male. One of the distinctive, attributes of the man, that they have, mustaches. You should leave them. You shouldn't actually completely shave them.
One last thing.
Yeah.
About the hair in the nose, is there any?
Sometimes they grow too long, and sometimes they become, annoying. Clipping them is no problem at all. Yes.
Brother over here.
I think the brother. saw him, the brother in the back now. Isha is 9:30, right?
Yes.
Assalamu
Alaykum assalam.
alaikum. My question is regarding beard. What is the ruling on how full and how big the beard should be?
So the ulama have different opinions. Some of them they say, and this is based on the what was narrated from Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, that he used to take the beard with his hand, and whatever goes beyond that he would cut when he at time of performing Umrah and Hajj. And some others they interpret the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as that you shouldn't actually touch it. And I think this is the sound opinion, which is to actually leave it, leave it alone, big and full, let it grow big and full, because this is what you understand. This is what the apparent meaning of the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaykum assalam.
About miswak and Ramadan,
Nah.
sometimes when you do miswak, the taste of it goes
Oh,
into the
Jazakallah khair. I actually had that in mind and I completely forgot. Barakallah fiqh. The brother is asking about the miswak. So these days, everything gets fancy these days, subhanAllah. Even the miswak. Now, if you go to different places, even in Saudi Arabia, you see different types of miswak, with the flavor, with the orange flavor, pineapple, you name it, right? With flavors. And you can actually feel that flavor in the mouth. In that case, it is muftir. Using that flavored miswak, that is muftir. You shouldn't be using this during fasting. But what I was referring to is the unflavored, the natural miswak. Some people, even that, they feel uncomfortable using that. They think that it might actually break their fasting. And this is what we were saying, that no, it doesn't break the fast. As a matter of fact, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do it. And in the hadith, he was clear that it should be used at all times unrestrictedly. It wasn't restricted to any particular time and not at other times, including the day of fasting. So it should be unflavored. Yeah, some people, I'm pretty sure some people would go and get the flavored one, because that helps, right? During fasting. Can give you a few calories to get you going.
I think the natural flavor of it, that's fine.
Oh yeah, that's perfectly fine. Even if you swallow it.
Brother over here had a question.
Okay. Alaykum assalam.
Actually, I have two questions. One is about taking Quran to washroom, especially when you're traveling.
Yes.
You can't leave anything around in airports.
Right.
Everything is doubtful. What
Yeah,
about,
this is very similar to the question.
yeah,
that
if you
asked.
put the Quran in jacket or anything, hang in washroom,
Yeah.
or sitting on actually.
Somebody
washroom.
might take the jacket.
No, I mean you put in. I'm not talking outside the wash. Inside, some doors they have something. where
Oh
to
yeah,
hang
hanger.
it.
Yeah, on the
Hanger.
inside of the door of the
Oh, yes,
restaurant.
on the door.
Yes.
I think when you go to airport, you all know, so there are a lot of, even if they see the Holy Quran somewhere, they, ask, oh, somebody Muslim around here, so to raise that question, what about if we hang it, on the door, just use washroom? That first question. Second one is about supplication when we go out from the washroom, say Gufran. I hear some people say, Alhamdulillah, alladhi adhabani al-adha wa afani. Which supplication is the right one?
Yes.
Thank you.
Now, so the first question, barakallah fiqh, for the two questions. The first one regarding the restroom at the airports. I would, to be frank with you, I would go even beyond that and see if, sometimes there are those who clean the restroom. I would give him $1 and say, can you watch this book for me? Put it on the shelf. Because definitely you don't want to take it in the restroom. It's not respectful to the speech of Allah Azza wa Jalla to take it inside, even if it is concealed. You want to try as much as possible to actually leave it outside where it is respected. Hopefully you can either see if there is a Muslim person, brother over, out there, or if you are accompanied by a family member, or in the worst case, see those who are the janitors, right, the one who clean, and tell them, I'm going to just use the restroom really quick. I want to put this book here. Can you watch it for me? Just give him $1 or $2. He'll be extremely happy. Alhamdulillah. What he's going to do with the Quran, I don't know. It's not, for them, it's not something very precious. The other question, I'm sorry, what was the other question?
Different dua.
Oh, dua, yes. So, Ghufranak is the one that is authentically narrated in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and we actually gave that here. We gave that.
It's not true.
Oh. What's up with the wireless today? So the other one, Allah, Alhamdulillah, alladhi adhaba anni al-adha wa afani. This is common with some people, but there is no authentic hadith that gives an evidence for that one. So it is, unevidenced. And with that being the case, I wouldn't use that. Alhamdulillah, Ghufranak has been narrated in an authentic hadith, I believe in Sahih Muslim. So we can feel confident that this is authentic sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Thank you. Salaam.
Any more questions? Back to Brother Kashif. I'm going to start charging you for those extra questions.
Yeah. We should be charging, actually giving you already, so you are helping us so much with the knowledge that you're sharing with us.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Now.
So, two questions. One is, you have said that the circumcision for women is recommended.
Recommended, yes.
But it's not like recommended is...
It's not wajib like the male.
Yeah.
Right. So for the female it is recommended, for the male it is wajib.
But if they skip it, we don't see that women actually do the circumcision. It's recommended is...
Let me talk to you afterward.
Okay.
Okay. I on purpose didn't go,
Okay, sure.
Okay,
that's
you know what I'm saying. I'll talk privately to you afterwards.
Okay. And then the second one is, these are the list of things which are sunnah, but there should be some other aspects also where these are not supposed to be done. Like, for example, the women have this habit of doing the eyebrows, flipping of the eyebrows. That should also not be performed.
Yeah, but the problem is not the problem, but these don't come under the umbrella of Tahara. Obviously, these are acts that are forbidden to do because they are manhi, muharram, to actually take out the hair of the eyebrows. I agree for the women, because Rasulullah ﷺ actually cursed those who do that. The ones who do it and the ones who do it for other people. These days you have beauty salons, supposedly, who actually do that. And this is haram, impermissible. Because Rasulullah ﷺ cursed. He said, لَعَنَ اللَّهُ النَّامِصَ in the hadith. So, but this is a separate topic. It doesn't come under the topic of Tahara. It's not related to Tahara. No. Alaykum as-salam.
So I had, it's not exactly questions, but like little comments. For the Ghufranak, when we say Ghufranak, once we come out, I think there is, I don't know whether it's from myself or I probably heard from someone that when you are in the restroom, your mind just keeps on diverting. So you're thinking about Allah sometimes you're thinking about the Sunnah, sometimes you're thinking of other things. So that's why when you come out of the bathroom, you just say Ghufranak because your mind was just rotating everywhere. And then the second, the dua that the brother mentioned, Alhamdulillah, I think most of the places where they say to recite this dua, it's always after Ghufranak. So they don't mention it as a standalone.
Yeah.
So they say first you have to say Ghufranak, and
Yes.
then after that you can recite this dua. That's like an additional one.
Right. But what is actually, like I said, what is narrated authentically in the hadith is just Ghufranak. As a matter of fact, I can tell you exactly what the hadith says. And I don't think you were with us last Saturday. We gave it last Saturday. The hadith is, this is narrated in Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim. From Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu anhu, كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا دخل الخلاء قال اللهم إني أعوذ بك من الخبث والخبائث. This is for entering, I'm sorry. And then when you exit out of it, قول غفرانك, And this is related by Abu Dawood and Tirmidhi, and the Imam Al-Albani, he judged it as Hasan. And also there's hadith Aisha radiallahu anha, كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا خرج من الخلاء قال غفرانك. When he would exit from the privy, he used to say, grant me your forgiveness. Now that addition, which is Alhamdulillah الذي أذهب عني الأذى وعافاني, it doesn't appear in any authentic, either Sahih or Hasan hadith. So it is a weak hadith. Yes. So like I said, being a weak hadith, so there is always this uncertainty about it. Or you can feel comfortable about and have tranquility that this is authentic, is this saying غفرانك. Okay, we should call, sorry. Yeah, so with that said, اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا واغفر لنا ذنوبنا وتجاوز عن سيئاتنا. اللهم وبارك لنا في أوقاتنا وعلمنا. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.